Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video, and no, it's not gonna be a review, it's gonna be a world record about the E50M, the best game ever done with an E50M so far. But before we go, I would like to give you one or two tips about the E50M so you understand what is following after. The E50M is the heaviest medium tank at tier 10, which means that it's an excellent rammer. It's made for ramming, as you can see, judging by how angled that plate is. It's definitely made for you to smash tanks. But obviously, that's not its main specs. The main specs of that tank is probably its gun, which is one of the most accurate, if not the most accurate for a medium tank at tier 10. 0.275 gun dispersion, which means that you can snapshot pretty much everything. The GPM is fine as well, 2.9k. The reload time, 7.1 seconds, because we are using the right equipment, that allows us to get more penetration, because without that, you are going to struggle, especially against E100 turret. And finally, for the mobility, if we compare how heavy that tank is to its mobility, it's quite a good one, and it will allow you to do quite a lot on the battlefield. Before we go, I'm just going to talk briefly about my equipment, and after we are going to go directly into the replay. We have calibrated shell, as I told you, to penetrate everything, and then gunline drive to reduce my aim time, followed by vertical stabilizer, because with this kind of gun dispersion, you don't need to get the refined gun. You can go directly for the vertical stabilizer, and it's going to do the job. After, I go for the defense system because I don't ram. But if you're a rammer, you should go for improved modules, but it's not my case. That's why I go for the defense system. After, improved assembly, but you could also go for the enhanced armor if you feel like it, in order for you to bounce more in the turret. But I feel like improved assembly is way better on that tank, regarding the fact that with 4% more armor, most of the time people shooting at your turret will shoot with gold shell, and they will pen regardless of the equipment you're using. After, I go for the toolbox because enhanced track is useless, improved optics because I'm gonna spot for myself, I'm not a tank destroyer, I don't need a camo, engine accelerator to increase my mobility, my overall good mobility even more, and finally, high-end consumable to be able to use adrenaline for a longer period of time. Now, let's jump into the replay. Alright, concerning the replay, guys, we have the pleasure of watching a world record of the E50M that is played by Hacker King. And you're gonna see how insane of a replay that thing is. It was wild from the start to the end. So he's taking right now a position that I'm not really familiar with, because I'm not too comfortable playing at this point right there, but it's an extremely effective position once you know how to play it. Here, the best for you would be probably to have a good gun depression to make it effective, which is not necessarily the case of the E50M. So I'm kind of curious to know why he went here. Maybe because he's used to go traditionally to this spot with every single one of his mediums or something like this. But luckily for him, he didn't have to deal with any tanks, as they all decided to go in the town, which will allow him to go perfectly around and to sneak all the shots he has to. And that's where the amazing accuracy of the E50M strikes, especially in those moments where you only see 1 pixel of the tank and it's still enough for you to do your damage and to sneak all the shots you have to sneak. There we go for the second one, the perfect example once again. There are one Kranwagen, and an ML2, and here it's the perfect matchup for him. They don't really care about him, not a single one of them is trying to get a shot, which means he has the perfect angle to just burst all those guys. And even if the Emil and all those allies, or enemies I should say, try to get some shots on him, as he's playing in side scrape, he should be able to bounce them all. So there we go. Unfortunately, you can't bounce a WT in your turret, especially when he's using each shell, but beside that, you can bounce pretty much everything. So now we are focusing on whatever is in front of him, but unfortunately he's unlucky with these shots for the moment concerning the accuracy, because a lot of them didn't go where I was expecting them to go in, especially knowing that this tank has around 0.28 gun accuracy, which should be way more than enough for you to snapshot pretty much everything. He's staying in the back and he's doing the right thing. There is the Kranwagen as well that is trying to get some shots, but it's impossible for him. If he gets pushed by the WT, has one big advantage, which is his hull. You gotta know that the E50M is the most armored tier 10 medium tank, which means that when you try to brawl against it, if this tank decides to ram you, you are gonna get completely crushed. So there we go, he's staying in the back, and luckily for him, not a single one of his opponents is trying to get a shot, which means that he has the perfect view to to gamble and to get all the damage. And that's exactly what our friend is doing right there. He's going for some HE shells as much as he can, and he's nearly gonna run out of HE pretty soon. He has to kill the Emil before it happens, and that's the case. Boom, there we go, a Kranwagen to deal with as well. He sneaks the first shot. He's trying to side scrape once again, which is an amazing tactic to go with for the E50M. But he decided, you know what, I have a friend on me that is pushing the Kranwagen, so I should probably help the rest of my team before having to worry about those guys. But now he is playing aggressively on the Kranwagen. And why is that a really good thing? If you take a look at the map right now, we have a Kranwagen in front of him, and he's completely alone compared to all his allies that are stacked together, which means that it's the perfect moment for our friend to strike, but also to relocate to another position. He has to push the Kranwagen while taking another position at the same time. Otherwise, as it happens with the T62A, he's gonna get pushed and he's gonna get crushed in the process. Luckily for him, the T62A serves as a meat bag for now, so he's gonna try to sneak 1 or 2 shots as he still has time for it. There we go for the first one. He can still go for the E100 because if he wiggles just a little bit, the E50 will not have the time. The E100, sorry, will not have any possibilities of shooting him, and that's exactly what's gonna happen right now. Look at this, he's focusing on the right targets. Luckily for him, even with the gunner down, he managed to put a precision fire straight into that T62A, and now all of a sudden the D100 decides, you know what, it's not my job anymore, I don't care about the T62A, and I'm not gonna try to shoot him. So he's gonna try to sneak his shots as well, but it would be too unfortunate for him to push through. Now he has to think about what he's doing. And the best way for him to win this is to use his mobility, because the 100s are known to be extremely slow. Therefore, if you manage to circle them, you know it's over. But the problem is they are playing in the town, and in the town, to be able to block and circle someone, good luck. So there we go. Our friend is gonna try to circle a little cocktail of experience, braveness, but also RNG, because for the moment the RNG seems to be with him, and he's gonna try to take an advanced position but on the side. And what this position allows him to do, unlike the previous one he had, from this position right there, he can show only his turret, and by doing that, it will allow him to sneak all the shots he needs without getting completely crushed in return. Unfortunately, it seems like D100 decided that it's a good moment for them to push. It shouldn't be too much of a problem for him if the T62A backs him up. He's gonna try and shot another one. He should have gone for the first track of the E100. The E100 misses, and oh boy, is it good. And I like what he's doing right now. Instead of focusing on the first E100 where he could have an easy shot, he decided to focus first on the other E100 to be able to secure the kill. And that's exactly the kind of things that you expect someone to do with a medium and with pretty much all tanks in the game, because if you don't, you are gonna get crushed, and it could have cost him the win. Here it's not gonna be the case. He goes for the last shell, 4 kills, and look at the insane number of damage our friend managed to pull out here. 9.5k damage. A well-deserved ace tanker, even if it was sponsored by quite a lot of RNG, but still an amazing game on which I can't say anything. He carried his whole team away, and good for him because he truly deserves it. So Hiker King, thank you for sending me that replay. This was awesome to watch, but also to comment. Hopefully, guys, you enjoyed. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share, and I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Au revoir.